Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. I wanted to talk about something very important, and there's been, a little bit of conversation around it, and I wanted to bring it to your attention and talk about it here today. And it is what happens to your ratings when the rating schedule changes. If you're currently rated for this condition and the rating schedule changes, how is that going to impact you? What sort of implications can there be? What sort of laws are in place, and what does the VA have to follow? So let's jump into this. Please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. This is a really important topic, and I do appreciate you letting this video run. That helps put this into the hands of others. If you want to support the channel in other ways, consider being a member. You can do that by going to the home page. You'll see the highlighted members and a join button. Thank you so much to all you members. All right, let's jump into this. Now, there's been a lot of discussion about rating schedule changes in the past, currently, and moving forward, right? The VA is consistently making little tweaks. One of the most recent changes was that for the digestive system. GERD specifically was a big one in there, where they removed GERD from being rated as hiatal hernia criteria, and they moved it over to esophageal stricture criteria, which to me is a much more narrow rating schedule, harder for more people, right? So some people will get a higher rating, but it's going to be a smaller amount of people that qualify, I believe, on that schedule versus the old rating schedule at hiatal hernia. The new one, or another one that is in effect, the proposed changes are there. It's going through the process. This should probably be implemented, at least the VA is saying, in April of 2025, and that is for the auditory, respiratory, and mental health. Specifically, some of the key things that they're looking at changing: removing tinnitus as a standalone condition, little easier opportunity for COPD to get into higher ratings. I believe that they're going to make it a little bit easier for folks on the mental health side by changing how they rate it, eliminating the 0% and eliminating the requirement to be totally socially and occupationally impaired to reach the 100%. Sleep apnea, they're talking about removing the 50% rating if your condition is treatable with a CPAP. Currently, you are able to receive a 50% rating if you are being treated with a CPAP. So if you have that type of ongoing treatment for your sleep apnea, you get 50%. If you don't have a rating today and you wait until after the rating schedule change, well, if you're treated appropriately with a CPAP, you get a 0. So anyway, those are some of the new changes coming down the pipe. And I wanted to talk about, again, what it's going to look like for those of us that move into these new rating criteria with our current old rating criteria used to establish our service connection. So, jumping into the first thing here, and I had to scroll down. Let me see what page I'm on here. I'm on page 5. All right. So, I'm on in the M21-1 MR Part 3 Subpart 4 Chapter 8 Section C blah blah blah. Go down a ways, and I think I said page 5, which is where, there we go. All right. I'm reading the little kind of text on the side here, so bear with me. Protection. This is, I will call it paragraph G. Protection against rating schedule changes. So that's what we're talking about. How are you protected when a rating schedule changes? Now, I'm just going to read verbatim through this and then we'll figure it out. So, public law, which is PL 102-86, states that a rating evaluation cannot be reduced solely because of a change to the rating schedule subsequent to August 13th, 1991. Now, there's more information. They're also going to kick us to a couple other sections within the 38 CFR, so I'll touch on those too. But right here, it's saying that based on the rating schedule itself being changed, they can't just reduce you arbitrarily. Be like, oh, well, look, the rating schedule changed. For example, sleep apnea, you're rated on this old rating schedule. You're assigned a CPAP. Your condition's been the same for 1,000 years. The rating schedule changes. And now all of a sudden, the new rating schedule says you should be at a 0. They can't just change you to a 0 because of the rating schedule change itself. Moving on, it says, however, 38 CFR 3.952 protects rating evaluations under the 1925 rating schedule, which were the basis of compensation on April 1st, 1946. So it's just giving a little further information there. Now, there is a weird thing here. It says evaluations in effect when previous changes to the 1945 rating schedule occurred are not protected by the PL 102-86. Probably a smaller amount of people on that. So then it says here, it's going to kick us over to a couple different publications here. So one, it says reference for more information on the preservation of disability evaluations after rating schedule changes. See 38 CFR 3.951 alpha. All right, so I pulled that up. Let's jump over here to that. So 3.951 is preservation of disability ratings. Then under alpha, little small paragraph, 4 lines basically. A readjustment to the schedule of rating disabilities shall not be grounds for reduction of a disability rating in effect on the date of the readjustment unless medical evidence establishes that the disability to be evaluated has actually improved. So let's go back to the sleep apnea example here. Sleep apnea rated with a CPAP 50%. Rating schedule changes, but your situation's still the same, right? I have not improved. I am still actually just as bad as I was when I got my 50% for my CPAP. Rating schedule changes. It says if my treatment is good with a CPAP, then I should be at 0%. Well, here's the thing. My condition didn't change. I'm still in the same boat. I still have a CPAP. I'm still treated successfully. It's just the rating schedule criteria has changed. That is not grounds for the reduction, right? Now, if, on the flip side, I magically don't need my CPAP anymore, I'm cured, hallelujah. Well, now you can be reduced. All right, so that's just the alpha aspect on there. We don't need to dive into the other. It talks about the 20-year. That would be the Bravo section of this. But we'll skip the 20-year. We're going to jump back over into that first one, and it says to also look at the USC, the 38 USC 1155. So let's look at that. All right. So this is it's a meaty paragraph. We'll get through it. All right. So the secretary, and they're implying that it's the Secretary of the Veterans Affairs, right? The Secretary shall adopt and apply a schedule of rating of reductions in earning capacity. Wow, boy, this is hard to read already. The Secretary shall adopt and apply a schedule of ratings of reductions in earnings capacity for specific injuries or combinations of injuries. The ratings shall be based as far as practicable upon the average impairments of earning capacity resulting from such injuries in civil occupations. Basically, they're just outlining the fact that your service disability compensation is basically a replacement of your earning capacity. Now, on a side note, I'm just going to throw this out there. It's my opinion, and I'm going to throw this out there to you because there are people out there, for instance, in the Congressional Budget Office, right, and others, like the Kyle Greenbergs of the world, who would probably say, hey, look, if you're a veteran and you make over X dollars per month or per year, you probably shouldn't be allowed to have disability compensation because you're doing well. My thought on that is, look, when we're talking about replacing your earning capacity, it is two different kind of versions of that. One is, look, I can't really hold that $150,000 job that I would have been able to hold barring these disabilities, whatever. So there's that kind of version where I'm going to make less money per year now because of my condition. The other option there is, well, I can make it today, but I'm not going to be able to sustain it into my 60s like I would have been able to if I didn't have my current service-connected conditions. So in order to basically preserve what we have, that's the way I view the replacement of our earning capacity, right, is those two ways. Longevity, how long we're going to be able to work and run full speed, right? And also how much we can do on an annual basis. All right, so moving back into this. The schedule shall be constructed so as to provide 10 grades of disability and no more, upon which payments of compensation shall be based, namely 10%, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100%. The Secretary shall from time to time readjust this schedule of ratings in accordance with experience. However, in no event shall such readjustment in the rating schedule cause a veteran's disability rating in effect on the effective date of the readjustment to be reduced unless an improvement in the veteran's disability is shown to have occurred. So again, the rating schedule is changed, but your severity has remained the same. You're rated against the old schedule. So it doesn't matter. For example, let's use migraines. Even though this is not on the chopping block today, let's say migraines at a 50% rating requires X. They change it and they say there's no longer a 50% rating for migraines. Now it's 30 with the same criteria. They're not going to reduce me to 30. My situation has remained the same. My severity is the same. I have not shown any improvement. Just the rating schedule changed how they view it and what they're going to award for it. That doesn't matter. You can change that, make everything zeros, but because I'm rated on this schedule over here, as long as my condition is the same, I am protected. All right. With that, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.